Fam, thank you for choosing to watch this episode of Mind the Mic podcast. Before we get into it, though, I need you to hit subscribe. And not just me, the whole Mind the Mic podcast family needs you to. Maddie, Uncle Pete, Stu, Leka, and of course myself, Shubz, and anybody else that's on board by the time you watch this video, we need you to hit subscribe. If it's your first time here, I understand if you're a bit reserved and you're like, I don't know, watch the video and after subscribe if you want to. But if you're here and you're watching all the time, subscribe. It's not that hard. All you got to do is, if you're watching on your TV, you're like, I can't subscribe, I don't have an account. You have a phone, don't you? I know you have a phone in your hand right now. Grab the phone, create a YouTube account. It takes a couple minutes, and then you can subscribe. And when you do that too, hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time we put up a new episode. I asked this of you because we put in so much time. We've done hundreds of episodes. We plan on doing thousands more with as many amazing people as we can. But we need you to subscribe, fam. Big love to everybody that's been watching. Big love to everybody that's been supporting and anybody that's just arrived. I hope you enjoy the journey, enjoy the episode, and subscribe. Hey, welcome back to another Mind the Mic podcast. I'm your host, Shubz, here with a special guest that's finally came on after ages. She rescheduled, I rescheduled, she rescheduled. When I actually found this link, I had to go all the way to like the bottom of all the links I've made to find her link, but she's here. This is Kast Fam.
Hello, I made it. I'm so glad to be on here.
One of the coolest people I've come across on this whole TikTok social media journey. She's an awesome lady. Yeah, I guess we're going to dive into a little bit about her. Not too personal though, but yeah, a little bit about her and what she gets up to, and how she became who she is, and what some of the goals she has in life. So, yeah, welcome, Kast.
Welcome, helloing. Can we get a hiya?
Oh, hi, yeah. No, so I guess the best way to start is like where were you born? Like, can you take us back to an OG Kast?
Okay, so I was born in, you wouldn't believe, the bottom part of Australia, all the way down the bottom there, Tasmania.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, true.
Yeah, the land down under. So that's
yeah. How does that happen?
Yeah, that happened. Now my mom was on holiday over there, and she was pregnant with me at the time. I do have family over there, so she was visiting, and then she ended up having me there, staying there for a few months before returning back to Melbourne, my hometown originally.
Oh, gee. Do a lot of people know you're born in Tasmania?
No. That'll be a fun fact.
Well, now they know, hey? When the quiz comes up for Kast Fam, the Kast Fam quiz, there you go. Where was she born? People probably say Sydney or Melbourne. There you go.
Nah.
Tasmania. Have you spent much time in Tasmania since, or?
No, I've only ever went back probably like 3-4 times max, just to visit a few family. Other than that, I don't spend a lot of time there. My mum left Tasmania when she was young, and she moved into the mainland, they call it, and Melbourne. So that's where I was mostly raised from young.
Oh, true. But you're in Sydney now, right? So, like, what ages were you in Melbourne till when?
So my primary school years I spent in Melbourne with my mum, and my parents were separated from one. So I went to live with my dad for high school years. So that was, from year 7 onwards. And I'm a daddy's girl. So I stay right near my dad.
Yeah. And your parents, though, what are the heritage?
So my mom's Australian, white Australian, and then my dad is Tongan, full Tongan.
Avakasi, let's go.
Yes, I am half caste. I've got the best of both worlds growing up.
What did you like? So, did you have any siblings at all, or how does that work? Or...
Yes, I've got 3 siblings above me and 3 below me. I've got 4 brothers and 2 sisters.
Are they on like which side? On both sides, or?
For me, I've got 1 full brother with my mom, and the rest are half siblings.
No,
so dad's a good boy.
They all whānau.
They all whānau. I don't count a step or a half. I just call them all my siblings.
Yeah. We don't really do that in Māori either. I think that's like a Poly thing too. We don't really.
Yeah.
Not really a thing. Yeah.
If they got some blood, man, they're your sibling. Whether you like it
even
or
if they're your cousin. Yeah, sometimes it's your cousin. Yeah, it's like your
hey, Shubz, let's not go down the cousin line.
Oh. No. Wait, no. But I mean, 'cause sometimes it's your cousins that are your siblings. You know what I mean? You grow up with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't talking like mattress room vibes. That's a whole nother talk.
Well, I'm glad none of my siblings are my cousins. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I'll be asking my dad what happened there.
Yeah, solid. Now I mean, like how you grow up, and then you might be your parents, like siblings, their kids grow up with you. You know what I mean? Not those ones. Holy Rick, that's a whole nother.
Well, I mean, it is common. It's not unheard of.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. There'd be some. I just couldn't like get hungry for my cousin. Like I feel like I would just be like, nah, gee. Like I don't know. I don't give a damn how bad my cousin
That's
is.
a straight.
Yeah, like nah, gee. That ain't it. What was life like? I guess in Melbourne growing up.
Life in Melbourne was good. My family, like my mum doesn't have any family in Melbourne. So it was kind of boring in that sense. There wasn't the difference between Tongan and Australian culture is family orientated and non-family orientated. So I did long for family orientated, big family vibes. So when I moved, it was a lot better having cousins and all my siblings around. I only had my brother down in Melbourne, and we butted heads quite a lot.
Yeah. Are you and your brother your close as today, or?
Not entirely close as today, but yeah. Well, if you need help, I'm here.
Yeah, that's it. There you go, because if you need help, she's here, brother. Whatever your name is. Shout out to the brother. Hey. But what did you get up to? Like, what kind of music were you into as a kid? What kind of, like, did you play sports? Or what was the game in Melbourne before you got to?
In Melbourne, I would say I was a bookworm. I was a really quiet child. I was quite, maybe introverted when I was younger. I didn't go out much. I like to play PC games, just real chill. My brother would come annoy the shit out of me. But because I was really quiet. I was just a real quiet child. I did swimming a bit, but other than that, I didn't do too much sports when I was younger. Yeah, just a bookworm, I guess.
What kind of books were you reading back then?
R&B, hip hop, old school music. My mom always blasted all the old school songs like Shania Twain, Cyndi Lauper, like those Australian songs, UB40, all those kind of music growing up. Yeah, that's about it.
Like, cartoons? Do you into any cartoons?
Oh, cartoons. What was I into? Because I had a brother, it was always he'd hold the TV. It would be Dragon Ball Z. Pokemon.
Yeah.
I would probably get Dexter, like Cartoon Network, Cheese TV.
Yeah, all of those ones.
Yeah, all those programs in the morning before school. I was a pretty good kid, eager to learn, always doing my homework. I didn't give my parents a hard time at primary school. I think I gave them more of a hard time in high school.
Oh, we'll get into that. Bookworm, what do you mean? Like, what kind of books were you into as a primary school kid?
I would just read, and I love to learn like writing. So I would be in my room for hours on end. Practicing all cursive writing, script writing, like just doing all that kind of arts and craftsy, nerdy type stuff.
So you'll be like the sister that I'll come to can you write us a note, permission slip?
Yeah, I was the one that was learning all our family signatures, those?
Yeah. Sis, can you sign us off
sign us off on my uniform note, my late note?
Yeah. Can you say I'm sick for 4 days? Can you?
Yeah, I was that one.
Yeah, that's solid. Gotta keep Kast Fam in the chamber just in case. You never know, might need you to sign something in the future.
I know, and now it's can you make this cousin's resume? Can you do this family member's resume?
Wow. You better start. Have you charged for your services yet?
I need to start charging. It's getting a bit too much.
Yes, but that's the thing. Time is money. It took you years to get those skills up. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it's different now. Like when I see my kids now growing up, they have like technology and everything like that. And I was so used to like old school paper, books, reading. Like it was just a different eras, different times.
How do you think that's like obviously being a parent now, we'll go all over the place, but how do you think that's changed? Like with the advance of technology compared to you being a child, how do you think that's changed? Like learning? Do you think it's made it
It's
easier for children, or do
impacted
you think it's
learning.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
mean,
yeah.
there's pros and cons on both. Like technology is good because you have more access to learning, more access to a whole world of information. But then again, you also have the world of information isn't always right information, or it could be
Hey,
misinformation,
talk about
disinformation. Like there's a whole bunch of
mm,
things your children can access that you don't want them to access at a certain age. And all the with technology, I feel like kids don't have social skills. Like they lack a lot of social skills. Like if they were to go out and have a conversation, it's hard because they're so used to doing it behind the screen.
mm.
Um,
Hey, are you taking jabs at me right now? No, 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 no,
no,
jokes.
I'm just
No,
saying,
no, I was just joking.
like I can see it in my own children. I don't actually. I only actually gave my children technology recently. They didn't really have
Oh,
it
really?
a lot. Yeah, growing up, I've got Nintendo 64. Hey, but we've got a PS4 now.
Nintendo 64.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I learned this way. You're gonna learn this way.
Oh, true. That was that Banjo Kazooie Zelda. Oh,
Yeah,
oh, this, oh, true.
Zelda,
Yeah.
Crash
Oh, that's
Bandicoot, Sonic.
oh, far out. Nintendo 64. That's some old school shit. But
Yeah, Mario Kart was the bomb.
yeah. I get what you're saying though. It's definitely like there are pros and cons. Like socially, I was just more talking because we're talking through a screen now. But like,
Oh,
you're right.
this is a good thing. This is a good thing.
Yeah,
This is the
yeah.
pros.
Yeah, hard. Yeah, I think the pros of this is that I can do this all over the world with anybody in their home,
Yeah,
like I'm getting you're in your home and anybody that wants to. But at the same time, it does like like if you could have that human
interaction.
kanohiki
Like,
face to face, or Maori we say kanohiki to kanohi face to face,
mhm.
like it would be obviously better. But this is the cool part of it for sure. But the cons are definitely I see that in a lot of like the social aspect of when it comes to children. A lot of the time it's not there. And I even think
Oh,
through that whole
100%.
COVID period, like the whole
Oh,
like that made it even worse. Would you say?
that's
Like,
what, the COVID period is when I actually learned a lot about technology. That's when I was introduced to TikTok. I didn't know what it was before that.
oh, true.
Yeah, I had no idea. I wasn't really a tech person. So I started learning how to do online Zooms for uni. Yeah, it's just a whole new world. So,
Mm. Yeah,
but,
but that's what happened. A lot of people like through that period learned a lot. Like even me, like
yeah,
I used to do huge Instagram back in. I had a old Instagram, got deleted, but but I used to do like
why
crazy
did it get
live
deleted,
streams.
huh?
Oh,
What
cause
were
what I
you doing?
say, the people don't like it. No,
Oh, I
no, well,
know the world's
not even that.
sensitive.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
These nuts. Yeah, but yeah, and
These
at the time,
nuts.
the stuff, the stuff that I was talking about at the time, and all the people that were coming on, like there was some pretty high profile people that were coming on. Like I even had like one of Donald Trump's advisors come on one time. It was crazy, and people that worked at the Pentagon. And I don't even know how I ended up doing that shit, to be honest. But that was all
What
through
an amazing
COVID.
experience. Yeah,
It was all through COVID. I was like, yeah.
I think
So
when with COVID, like with technology, like so you got to do all that and it was amazing and you met so many big people, wonderful people out there. But the problem is they started censoring everything. I think
yeah,
now like data or online streaming and things like that, a lot of it gets censored. So
yeah.
that
Oh
makes
yeah,
it tough.
yeah, well, if you've TikTok like me, I had like 50 bananas. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I thought I saw like Shubz 20,
yeah,
Shubz 25
20.0.
account.
Yeah, 100. That was because, but that's me too. Like, I just, I just speak my mind, whether it's right or wrong, whether you like it or not. And yeah, and I don't even agree with some of the shit I've said over the years, but you learn,
Yeah,
you learn on the journey
you
for
live and
sure.
you learn.
Yeah, I even had a big like discussion with a sister of mine last night on the podcast. We do like this quote show where she reads out quotes and we sort of break down what they mean to us and stuff like that. And we
Oh,
haven't done
nice.
it. We did it weekly, but for like for like 4 months, I think. But we hadn't done it for a couple of weeks, so it was our first one last night. And the crazy thing is, so I got a goal to make 444 of these podcasts,
Yeah,
whether the interviews or some of the shows that we created, and that was 222. So we're halfway there. Like I got a goal to do 444 by the end of the year. So I launched this in January,
yeah.
and I've just been going hard. So the 222 released so far this year, which is crazy.
Oh man, I see you grinding. I see you hustling.
Yes, I'm just trying to in a lot of ways trying to make up for lost time. Like I feel like I should have done this years ago.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about that whole, even like the whole TikTok journey for me anyway, and myself personally, and I was like, bro, I actually turned into probably someone that I don't like for a little bit there, that I didn't realize though, you know what I mean? And stepping away, I'm like, you know what I mean? I can sort of see that now, put a mirror up to myself and be like, yeah, I don't agree with heaps of the shit I said.
No. Did you,
You know what I mean?
so are you stepped away currently now? Still speaking?
Yeah, well, yeah, I haven't been on, like I went on, the first day was, I think it was Monday. I jumped on for like 10 minutes and I don't know, it was just weird because I've been doing it like this for ages. And the only live streams I do, we do like Twitch, Twitter, like we stream on heaps of platforms. Sometimes I stream these, like our with some of our live shows, I stream them to TikTok sometimes, but not much. And but even then, I'm not actually, you know, when you're actually in the chat talking, like I'm not actually there really. It's just being broadcasted to TikTok. But yeah, I'm not on there at all, really. Hard. Oh, you know, on that journey on TikTok, which we'll get into too, but there's a lot of toxicity, just like anything in life, especially when there's competition, I guess, you know, for spots and stuff like that. So, and I definitely feel like
it really brings out the best in people.
And I feel like I also jumped into some of the ugliness myself, you know what I mean? Like, instead of just staying who I was, you know what I mean? I definitely, so I'll talk about that last night. But anyway, we're here for Kast Fam, not fucking Shubz. But yeah, what you were saying there, I just definitely agree that there's so many pros, like the fact that we can talk to our family all over the world and all those kinds of things. Like you said, the access to information for children is better than it's ever been. Obviously, there's a lot of with the advent of technology and the amount of information that's out there, there's gonna be heaps that's bullshit too. So you're right, you gotta sift through and I guess use
you gotta sift
figure out what's true. Yeah,
and I think it comes up to the parents, like they gotta just be monitoring that stuff. A lot of our parents these days just get so consumed in the world or work or whatever it may be, and they forget that you can put parent locks, you can do all that sort of stuff to make it more safer for children. So it's still a good benefit for them.
Hard. I think to be honest, like obviously technology wise, I think the world's a lot safer than it used to be. I think this is my opinion. You may not agree. I think that the world's a lot safer than it used to be. The only thing is that everybody knows everything. Like everybody knows, like the algorithms feed off people's fear. So a lot of the times you only see bad shit. You know what I mean? Like, and if you only follow bad things, like if you follow like gossipy stuff or like drama or like, you know, real real fucking painful stuff, then that's all you're gonna see, right? Your algorithm.
It follows
me. Like if you look at my algorithm now, like if I look at what it used to be, like there used to be heaps of that stuff. Like, but now that I unfollow everything that I don't like that makes me feel not good. And some of the stuff, like I think, are beautiful causes, and and I love what people are doing. But I think even for my own sort of mental set, I just like can't really give that energy. You know what I mean? Sort of thing. Hard. And it's like you said, up to the parent. But I think, like back in the days, right? Like people think, but my kids can't go out and play in the street anymore. First of all, kids don't, because they're playing on the fucking Xbox or they're on their fucking iPad or something.
Really see them out.
Like, why would they? You know what I mean? Like, and another thing is, you know, there were like pedophiles and all of these things existed way back then too. That shit just got swept under the rug. You know what I mean? Like now it's more exposed. So obviously we hear about it a lot more and stuff. But like you said, for you to like go and abduct a kid today, you got to be pretty ballsy. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make you a fucking good person, but you gotta have some screws loose, because like everybody has a phone. You know what I mean? Everybody is can be their own journalist right then. Like in a split second, you can swipe your phone up and record. Like, and like you said, if you're a parent, you can get all these parental controls and set all those up. So it's really, like you said, up to the parent. Like, and really, you're not doing your job as a parent if shit happens on the internet with your children. Like, because you can stop all that from happening by doing these things.
Yeah, I think so, but I think it's just creating more education and awareness for parents with technology. Like if parents tap into that, they'll definitely have a better understanding on how they can monitor their children that are like engaged in technology. 100%.
Yeah, well, like you said, you didn't give your children technology to what? Like, what's recently for you?
Like just like in the past year and last year.
Oh, true.
I started giving them technology. Like family members bought little iPads for them when they were little, but I never really got them to use it too much. My kids, I love them to go outdoors. I mean, like I still like them to do old school type things, play sports, go outside and enjoy being a child. But now with my children going into high school, they're kind of like around all the other children, and they're like, oh, they have technology. I kind of want to, have technology, and they've got to advance with the world. So, I've introduced it to them. They've got it now. So.
Yeah. But obviously, again, like you said, having that education and knowing what you can't just let them run rampant. Hey,
no, I don't let them on it all the time. I'm like, oh, no, you got to clean this, do this, and make sure everything's done before you go have your, your free time. But yeah, my children are good. Like, I feel like that's the best blessing I've ever had in my life, having children at a young age and growing with them, adapting with them, learning with them, and all of the above.
Oi, that's a big one too, sister. You said there, learning with them, because I think a lot of parents feel like you're just their teacher, but you learn so much as a parent, right? I think you learn just as much being a parent as you do teaching them, if not more.
One thing I told my dad, because he's a bit stubborn and he's real old school, like Tongan mentality. So one thing I told him when we were growing up, just recently when I got the balls to talk to my dad, because when I was young, I didn't have those balls, but I told my dad, you know what? A number one thing you got to remember is your kids are your number one teachers if you allow them to be. Don't shut out your children and what they have to express as well, and call it back chatting, because sometimes your children can teach you things as well, and you got to be open minded to receive what your children want to express to you and talk to you about. I mean, if you shut off that communication, that's when things go wrong, I feel, with your children, when they don't have that open ability to talk with you as a parent and approach you. Yeah, so my dad only just started realizing that in the last few years, and he's become a lot more open with my younger siblings that are a lot more privileged than I was growing up. But I mean, yeah, he's here now. We live and we learn, right?
Yeah. 100%, and life's a journey, and the cool thing is that he's willing to to move with that, you know what I mean, to take that on board and not just dismiss it, you know what I mean, because again, you could have done what you said and just dismissed this child and been like, you know what I mean. The cool thing is
that was his mentality before growing up. He would kind of dismiss things or be like, no, this is the way and this is the only way, blah blah blah, and don't argue with me. But now it's kind of like, oh, okay, you'll sit and listen, take it in and adapt to it, understand. So it's a lot better. And
yeah, no, shout out to the dog, man. Hey,
shout out to the pups.
Old horse, can you learn new tricks? See, that's good. Yeah, shout out to the pups. So speaking on the pups, so what age did you move to them? You said high school years.
Yes, so year 7, I moved down to live with my dad and my stepmom. So my dad remarried. His wife is Samoan, so I do have a massive Samoan family that I grew up around as well. So I kind of have the best of 3 worlds.
Oh yeah, and so are those your 3 other, the 3 other or 2 of the other siblings after you, or?
Yeah, so my younger siblings are all to my stepmom, so they're half Samoan, half Tongan. My older siblings is when my dad was back in Tonga, so it's just me, my brother in the middle, with a half whiteys.
Are you older or younger than your brother?
I'm younger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the older siblings are full Tongan, so they got full Tongan, half Kast, Balangi, and then
the enemy. Wait, no, say that jokingly because
the old school rivalries.
Yeah, the old school. Where does that even come from? Do you know?
I don't dive into that. I'm real new age, contemporary. Let's all get along. Let's love one another.
Me too. I've got cousins that are Tongan and Samoan, and I don't understand. I'm like, we all polys out here. Yeah, we all fun.
My dad loves cracking the jokes about the old school stuff, but hey, he married a Samoan, so
it can't be that bad, eh? Shout out to the man. So you moved to Sydney, was it?
Yeah, I moved to Sydney. It was a tough transition because growing up with an Australian mum, it's kind of like Australian ways. They teach you like your parents want to raise you up to become independent and go out and do things on your own. Whereas when you go to like Polynesian culture, they kind of raise you up to come back and take care of your family, sort of a thing. They don't raise you up to go out and be independent. It's raise you up, come look after me type thing. But yeah, with my mom as well, growing up in Melbourne, and having such a small home and then moving and transitioning to a
Oh yeah.
massive house, I was like, what the?
Even though you would have went for like holidays, probably, like growing up, or
Oh yeah, I went for holidays, but holidays nowhere near living. You're there for a holiday. Your parents like spoil you when you're on a holiday because they want to make up for lost time. So I didn't have that experience of living there. So when I went there, I was like, wow, this is a whole new ball game. Like I'm out of my comfort zone. I'm not used to this, but hey, I got to learn. So when I mean curveballs, I would come home from school and go into my room and there'll be like 6 washing baskets waiting for me for like the whole household's washing because I was the eldest girl at the time at the home. And then like I would go into the kitchen, there's like dishes like stacked massively. I was like, oh my gosh. I went from just having to clean my own room or like my own mess from a small home to that. And yeah, it was tough when I did do the transition. But it was a good tough. I mean, I look back at it, I never had regrets. Everything's a learning curve. So I learned well and truly then and there what Polynesian culture and lifestyle was like.
Yeah, but when you say best of both worlds, like literally, right? When you said that
literally the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
No, but it was a great.
I can imagine though, like just being like you said, you go on holiday with your parents and it's spoil you. It's like you said, making up for lost time. Then next minute living there, you think that's gonna be the same thing when you move there.
Yeah, like when you're young, you're like, oh, I love going to pools all the time. I love going to the movies. And then when you move there, it's like, yeah, no more movies, no more pools. Go in the room and fold all the 6 washing.
But then that probably prepared you for being the mother of 4 that you are now, right?
Oh, 1000%. I mean, if I didn't do the shift and transition, I would have probably just been stuck in an Australian mentality. But having had that learning experience, it's helped me so much with my children, and it's helped me be like extremely family orientated. Like, I think if I'd stayed growing up Australian way, I would be like, no, that's mine, everything's mine, like don't share. Like, you know, I've learned those sort of skills of sharing with others, and when I open my home, it's open for everyone. Like I welcome everyone in with open arms. We all eat together. Like if I'm eating, you're eating with me, type mentality. So yeah, I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed to have that.
So were you, when you first moved, was it even like, because you know, sharing, especially in poly culture, that's what it is. Like if you got a pack of chips, we all eating. Like, you know what I mean? If you got if you got a pie, we cutting that shit up, or we having bites each. You know what I mean? Like that's how it goes.
No, like when I was little, I remember I was such a brat. I was like, I was a little brat, and because I was my dad's princess at the time, I was like, I'm not sharing nothing. And then like me and my brother, we went to the movies. My dad took us one time, and like we had a big popcorn, and I hate, like when I was little, I was like, I don't want to eat the popcorn before the movie, but my brother was just diving in and just like shoving his face, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? I don't want to share this, it's gonna be finished. I was having the biggest sook, and then my dad just straight told me off. He's like, no, you got to learn to share this and that. So I mean, I got to learn pretty quickly how to share. But yeah,
I've experienced that, like just with some, I guess, Palangis, and shout out to the brothers. If you don't know, you don't know, you know. But sometimes they come to parties, and then, you know, they come to a party and just like sit, or come to a gathering, and they're just eating like McDonald's in front of everybody, like and the kids, like us, that's like, bro, you're a fucking weirdo. But like, you know, some of the boys, you have to tell them like, bro, like, you know, if you come here, then do that. You know what I mean? Or eat in the car. You know what I mean? Or bring something for everyone.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
I got a good example for that. So like I've had a family reunion on Poly side, and then I've had a family reunion on my Balangi side.
Okay.
Big difference when it comes to eating. Like
you
go Balangi is like finger food, and everyone just brings a portion for their family. And like it's a small ass portion. It's like it feeds one person and nobody else. And then on the poly side, it's like you got foods that last days and can feed villages on end. And no one argues. Everyone kind of puts in. It's like, hey man, you're gonna do this, this, and this, and we all bring it in together and share. Share. And then Balangi, it's like, nah, you bring that. That's for you. Don't touch my hamburger. That's mine. Get it over your side of the barbecue.
Yeah.
That's my tomato. I'm not sharing it, you know.
That's my tomato.
Different. Big difference.
Yeah. I noticed that too. Just like I'm not obviously I'm Maori, but like just being around different groups, say in life, you like oh, it's a bit different on the side of the river. She's a bit different around here.
It's massively different, and a big difference that I find, like Balangi side, they have no filter. My Tongan side, they're very filtered, very respectful. You got to be mindful of who's around in the room, if there's elders and things like that, and how you carry yourself as a person. But when you I go to my Balangi side, there's like zero filter. They talk about everything and anything, and it's like my ears, my poor ears, or like my kids now, I'm like covering their ears, like nah, you don't need to hear what your auntie's talking about, that bedroom talk or whatever they go into.
Oh yeah, oh true. And do you think, and like you said about the respectful thing, they don't on the Palangi side, they don't really like care who it is, like whether it's an elder or whatever, like
like everything's just out in the open. They're out in the open with their grandparents, like all the way down, aunties, uncles, nieces, nephews. It is like no filter whatsoever. I because my husband, he's like full Tongan, and where he was brought up in New Zealand, and like from a full-on strict Tongan lifestyle and upbringing.
So who does he go for in the NRL?
He doesn't really watch NRL.
Oh damn! I thought I was gonna say Warriors, but anyway.
But yeah, he loves Warriors. He loves Warriors, but he doesn't have a set team.
Yeah, I get what you mean. But up the Warriors.
Up the ones.
Yep, the ones.
But no. What's it called? I took him over to meet my Australian family.
Yeah.
And like when I say no filters, my auntie straight did a moonie on the window. Like in front of everyone. And I was like,
that white girl wasted things for real.
That's not even wasted. That's just normal behavior.
Not even wasted. Imagine when auntie's wasted.
And my husband was like, what the heck's going on? Did I just see your auntie lift her thing up and do a moonie? I was like, yeah, you just saw that.
What's have you seen Cat Williams, the comedian?
Yes.
What's the one? And but he talks about white people when they get drunk. He's like, white people when they get drunk, all they remember is the last thing they say before they leave the house. Tonight we're gonna get fucked up.
He ain't even lying though.
Yeah, hard. You know what I noticed too, even with some of the guys, bro, like they all down for like grabbing the balls and like whacking.
Oh my gosh,
this is weird, you know.
Honestly, to Islanders and stuff, they're like, whoa, that is too much. It's weird. What the heck are they doing? But like when you grow up around that, it's like that's their norm. So they don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, hard like they'll come and whack your balls and then you just want to give them a hiding, but then they're laughing like think it's a joke.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck, you're rumble, you cunt. You know what I mean? But like it's like, oh, why is he angry? Like, hey, fuck.
Yeah. And another thing, like when you touch on that, it's like I think with Balangi lifestyle, they don't have boundaries like for girls and boys. Like growing up in a poly home, you've got like say you're watching a movie or something and it's got bad scenes in it or sexual scenes in it, you wouldn't watch that with your brothers or like your uncles or something like that.
Or your parents.
Or your parents, like you just wouldn't go there. But like on the Balangi side,
or they cover your eyes and shit. They're like, yeah, these ones. And they're like, turn around. Yeah, these ones.
I'm watching.
I can't see.
Yeah, I can't see anything. But Balangi, man, they just watch like everything all out in the open.
Oh, you got
Yeah.
movies. You got a top 3 movies of all time off the top of your head?
Top 3 movies of all time. Oh, just recently, I've got the worst memory when it comes to things like that. I love Selena growing up, though. I must say,
Oh,
I love
Selena
that.
y los Tinos.
Yeah, Selena's Ilustinos.
Yeah.
I watched that like 1,000 times. But I like Blood Diamonds. I
Oh,
love.
deep.
Yeah. I like the stories based on true story, like
Yeah,
movies
those
based
are
on
cool.
true stories.
Yeah, those are
I
awesome.
love the one that just came out in the movies where you had to watch it and it contributed about like the big child trafficking ring.
Oh,
Freedom,
yeah. Sounds of
freedom.
freedom. Sounds of
Sound
freedom.
of Freedom. Yes,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that was really good.
Yeah, Tim
Like
Ballard, Tim Ballard, yeah.
yes, but I mean those kind of movies that actually creates awareness. I enjoy those.
That's
I love
necessary. That's
it's
fucking
necessary. We need more of it, and
fucking.
for the fact that it took years for him to get it on the on film to
But
be
how
out
else if
able
they
to air.
tell you, hey, like these motherfuckers, they run this shit, hey, they don't want any of that stuff out there.
They
That's
don't
what
want
you
nothing real
yeah,
out there,
hell no,
and yeah,
hell no, because they
um,
fucking up to it too, the cunts. You know what I mean? That's why.
yes. And
Fake
another
dog.
video that really impacted me is Stoning of Azaria.
Ooh, what's that one? Is
That
it,
was
is it as the title says, is it?
yeah. It's just about how women in the Middle East, like sometimes they get framed for affairs or something like that. But anything like that, they would get stoned for it alive.
Fuck, what do you reckon would be the worst way to go?
Stoned alive, like you have to in anything to do with torturous deaths, like where it's a slow, painful, torturous death, would be the
Yeah,
worst way to go.
yeah, hard.
Like
We should
if I
fucking.
wanted to go, I would have like instantly do it right then and there. Like why stone through? Like oh
Yeah,
no, it was just
let's line up all the pedos and stone them.
yeah. Let's line up all those guys and
Fuck
stone
them,
them.
man. Fucking no. Taking away because like I was fucking I don't know if you got a bar. I was fucking listening by heaps of people when I was a kid, man. And like I've seen so many cousins like go through this shit. You know what I mean? And my brother was like, bro, I used to think I was gay. I didn't think I was gay because I like dudes. I just thought because you know that shit happened to you. Like fuck, am I gay? You know what I mean? But it just fucks you up. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the Shubz that's a fucking cheeky follower and the way I am like. It's because of that fucking it's like defense mechanism, I guess, like a response to my fucking trauma, I guess, trying to or being the way I fucking am, a lot of it, and obviously trying to unlearn a lot of shit. But that because you can go through shit and then a lot of people can repeat the cycle, right? But I was always like, fuck, I don't ever want to do this to my children or do this to any children. Like I want to protect people, you know what I mean? So even this to this day, like. If I drink and there's kids around, or if I'm at a party and there's kids around, I always like watch to see like who where are they all sleeping. Like if it's like my home, like I always would put them all in the lounge where no parents or anything can like go into a room or anything with them. And I'll never, even though I'll get on it. I'll always like hold myself so I can like just watch the kids because like and make sure they're all good and make sure that like no adults fucking take any in the even though these are my family, but it happened with fucking family. So that's why I'm that way.
Well, majority of it does happen with family. Like people say watch out for strangers and stuff like that. But it's those people are in your homes, like they're there all the time. I can't stand that stuff. And I do the same thing like you. I look out like because you get those creepy uncles or you get those, those pedo people in the family. And
even aunties, straight up. I got aunties that got more chicks than dudes when I was a kid.
Oh,
yeah, and I'm talking like 3 years old till I'm like 7 years old. You know what I mean?
Nah, that's messed up. But aunties, uncles, or anyone with those kind of sick minds, we always have to look out for our children and not be so trusting. No, I don't trust that my kids don't go out of my sight. Like I'm really onto like that sort of stuff. I have those conversations with them as well. Like I'm always
you have to. Education, right?
You gotta educate them and have that conversation with them. It might be uncomfortable, but it's necessary. It's needed. And have it with them younger, like because you might think
you start like having those conversations, and then how did they go for you? Like how did you
when
implement it?
Yeah, so I would just say like from young, probably like around the 7 years
Yep.
old. Yeah, like just like, oh, do all the stranger danger talk, but even I'd say, even if it's an uncle or an auntie, or like, even if it's like, I go, doctors, they're like, when we go to the doctor, maybe they're allowed to touch you or things like that. But even like at home, if there's like an uncle, auntie, or something, and they touch you inappropriately in these areas and stuff like that, is what I'd say to them. Like, you let mummy know straight away. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, just say, no, I don't like this, it's uncomfortable, or just, just guide them through those conversations, make sure that they're aware that these areas are off limits. I'm like, even friends, like, I'm like, even if you have a friend, like sometimes their young little friends
Yeah.
are exploring, or like they see something of their parents and then they come and try it as well with like your kids, like at childcare or something. I'm just like, nah. Or like primary school
Yeah.
ages, kids get curious and they see something, they try to reenact it. So I'm even like, even if you're friends and stuff like that, you tell them, no, this is inappropriate, you don't touch me here. And like, I'll role play with my children. You got to role play with them, because when you just say it, they don't really understand. But when you role play and act it out with them, they get a better understanding of it. And I think that's important, trying to role play out what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah. No.
but it's definitely a sensitive subject.
Yeah, but
I
it's one that's necessary, because if we
It's
don't
one
have
that's necessary.
these conversations, how do the kids know? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you'd rather be awkward and have a fucking awkward conversation with them, but
And
let
then
them know
save
then let it
them.
fucking happen to them. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like,
mhm,
and to
mhm.
parents out there, I would say the same. Like, get over fucking being that this is weird or it's awkward, or maybe figure out a way that you can do it, but do it, man. Like, and there's especially when they're at an age to understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a little bit.
Talk
Fucking
them
tell
through it,
them.
and like in their sort of understanding, always like lower the level of language you use so they can
Yeah.
understand it, and then like get them to like repeat it back to you, like, oh, so what did we talk about today, like, and then they can repeat back their learning, so that that they're learning what you're teaching, and then you guys are on the same page. I think it's important.
That's
um
good for retention too, like getting them to repeat it back, even if they can repeat it back, but they may not understand exactly.
yeah,
The fact that they're
yeah.
repeating it back helps to make it sink in their head as
Yeah, it
well.
helps click. So with the
Yeah,
repeating back and then role playing something out, it all kind of sinks into their mind, and then they'll remember it. And even repeating it back, or like them repeating back something uncomfortable, it breaks that barrier of them feeling like it's an uncomfortable topic themselves. So then the children feel like, oh, I can say that, because some children feel like, oh, that kind of talk we shouldn't say to our parents. But it's like, no, if you encourage them to repeat it back to you and have that engagement, then it makes them more comfortable if something like that was to happen, that they can approach you and they're not scared to approach you. Yeah,
mm.
I think, yeah, just communication as parents is so important. Like, not just the typical give them a smack or tell them off and then no explanation. Like, yeah, old school
Yeah.
ways, our
Oh,
parents would give
wait,
us
that's the
smack because
worst
that's our
there.
root. It's the worst,
Wait,
because
that's the worst. Gee, like
you're sitting there
my
like, what
mom.
did I do wrong?
You never know it. Even 30 years later, you still don't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
30
what do I
years
fucking
later,
do?
I'm still doing the same thing. Like, what?
Yeah. Why don't I? Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that was always a big one for me. Like becoming a
Mm,
parent, was to like
mhm.
never, like, even if like obviously I've got shit. Like I spoke on this the other day on a podcast, a solo one that I do, Shubz POV. But I was just talking about how I'm trying to unlearn shit, like even just yelling, like yelling and stuff like that. Where I've thought like fuck, because I never want my kids to be scared of me. I want them
Yeah.
to be respect me and like no like, but I don't want to fucking be like fucking like many of us where as kids fucking hiding away, fucking shit scared it's gonna get the bash. You know what I mean? And you don't even know what you're
Yeah,
gonna
I
get the
was doing
bash
the
for.
switches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the ugliest too. Like the flinches, gee. Like
Yeah.
I didn't even use the flinch. I just used to fucking take it on the chin and tell them they were pussies if they hit me. That's probably half my problem. I was too lippy. Get,
Nah, that means you're accustomed to the hidings.
I was gonna crack it. Is that all? And
Yeah.
get another one there.
No, I've had worse than this.
Yeah, fuck, I was so bad, man. Like even like fuck, even one time like I got put in ICU, like I was choked, like
Oh
fucking.
my days.
But I was
That's
because
next
I just
level.
kept spitting at my fucking at my mum. Like fucking all shit out there. But I was like fucking little, man. But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh, it's so bad that we even have to laugh about that. But I mean, I
yeah.
have that sense of humor where you want to laugh
That is
about
what
it.
it is. Hey, my mum's
Yeah.
better now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, but my mum had fucking like terrible, fucking raped everything, all the shit, heaps of violence, all that stuff too. So I understand. You know what I mean? Doesn't make it
That was
right.
my mom wasn't like that, but my dad, yes. My dad, but see, I learned to grow up and understand that my parents, they only knew what they knew. They were only taught what they were taught, and they
Imagine
were
what they
they
Fuck.
based on what they had, and then they were just repeating a cycle that they could never break because they didn't get the education or awareness around breaking a cycle, so it carried on. And so I was exposed to, like, my dad was like that as well. He grew up around violence and everything to do with
Yeah,
fighting and
yeah.
things like that. So he carried that on and didn't really know how to be a parent because his parents didn't know how to be a parent. Like,
Yeah.
and so it just, it went like that. And then lucky I grew up and I've always been one to break cycles. And then I went out and I got educated. And when I got educated, I could understand why my parents were the way they were. And I would never blame them for like anything they've done to me in the past or anything like that, because I've just been, given this enlightenment of knowledge that, okay, this happened for a reason. And my parents were the way they were because of this. And I could understand that and accept that. And I love my parents to this day, even though like I may have had run-ins with them in the past or things like that. But
Yeah. I don't know.
it's
Same. Like,
living and learning.
don't get me wrong. Like, I'll never do that kind of shit to my kids. But like, even just just like shit you gotta trying to unlearn. But the big thing I always wanted to never, or made sure I never do, is growl them and never tell them why. Just fucking always, even if it takes you got to calm down or whatever it is, then explain like dad, told you not to because this is the reason, and never to like, oh no, I try not to ever just go off at them or whatever because I'm mad, like with nothing to do with them. Like that's just like that's my fucking problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you gotta fucking sort that out my own shit. You know what I mean?
I know, but we can definitely try and work on ourselves. But at the end of the day, we're all human. We're all human. We have our days. We have shitty days, man. We have good days. We have shitty days. I'm not perfect. Mornings are the worst for me. I'm not a morning person. My kids can hear me yelling in the morning. Yeah, hard out. I hate mornings.
Mornings too. Yeah, but you have like a hectic schedule too, like, don't you?
Yes, my life is always busy. I'm always on the go. I'm a go-getter kind of person. I feel like I don't know how to sit still.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. See, like, we've been here for 45 minutes and I probably moved every fucking 2 seconds. But yeah, no, I mean, I can't sit still too. So, I get it. But I'm saying, like, because what you work like, do you still do night shift and all that, or have you pulled back for study?
I just recently switched out. So I did like 4 years in nights.
4 years. Can you talk about that? What the trying to do that plus balancing being a mother of kids and all of that stuff?
But it gave me the flexibility to still be present for my children. So like I would work at the nighttime. They'd already have gone to sleep. Like because I'd start
zombie.
I'd start at 9 p.m. 10 I was like lacking sleep, and it wasn't really good for my health. Like I've just switched back to days because of that exact reason, like lack of sleep. Just my body clock was fried. It was all over the place.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I've switched back. I'm trying to get this proper routine. I'm still studying. I just want to be a role model for my children that like no matter what happens in your life, you can just keep going and keep growing and learning and developing yourself as a person. So yeah, I'm always engaging in something. I've always maintained study. I've left high school. I graduated year 12. I went into a diploma of like a Cert 4 in community services. Then I got my diploma in community services and case management. And that's all whilst carrying children, like being pregnant. And then, I had my first one at 18. So I was a teen mum. Yeah, I was young.
How young are you now? Well, we can't say that.
Oh, no, I'm 31 now. I'm 31.
31, that's it.
Yeah, I'm 31. Life just started, okay? Life starts at the 30s.
Oh, yeah, I heard life begins at 40, so, we're still in the ball bags, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, we're still in the ball bags, yeah.
That's it, bosses.
I must be at the top of the scrotum.
Oh, come on.
These nuts. No.
Where did the passion for like all of that, like the community and all that, where did that come from, you reckon?
Passion? Probably my upbringing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we
Like
face
the mum upbringing, or they're going to do the 6 washing baskets upbringing, or combination?
all of it, all
yeah.
of my upbringings. Like my mum came from a very tough life. So she's Australian, but she's like, she was adopted out. She was a child of the system. So she had a very hard life also. So she didn't also know certain qualities of being a parent. She was very present in the sense that we had home cooked meals and things like that, but it was just that connection in like affection and being present that way. She didn't know how to do that because she obviously wasn't shown that herself. So my mom had a tough upbringing, and then my dad had the tough upbringing. There were two broken parents trying their best to raise children the best way they knew how and was taught. And so we obviously copped the aftermath of that. And the older children are obviously the guinea pigs of that. They go through the hard yards of their parents' learning. And then we face our own traumas growing up. And with trauma, it comes like, you know, I had my own traumas. Some of it I still deal with today or don't deal with very well. Like it comes out in my lifestyle today. But yeah, just going through that process and seeing that, you know, people could like benefit from learning younger. So I love youth or adolescence where you can intervene at a younger age to kind of shape them or mold them to break cycles when they grow up. And so that was my passion. In high school, I did like leadership programs where I worked with young people in school. In the younger years, I was in the senior years working with younger children. They developed this program.
Like, they had a program at your school?
Yeah, they introduced, like when I was in year 11 and 12, they introduced this program. It was called Peer Support Program. And the Peer Support Program, what it was is year 7, 8, and 9 adolescents, they didn't know how to, some of them didn't know how to approach their parents. So they developed a program where the senior children would sit with the younger ones and build that sort of buddy system where they could approach a senior child that they looked up to in school. And then that way they were still able to express themselves and communicate and unpack whatever they were going through at home or the struggles that they had faced. They developed that program. I was in that program when they first developed it, and that was where my passion grew, is seeing young people like affected at home or whatever they're going through with their families and not being able to express or communicate or get it off their chest. And then it will make them lash out in school or be mischievous or just get detention, suspensions, one after another. And I was fueled by that. And then I continued that learning experience on after I left high school and got straight into the community services, education and learning. And I kept going. 21 years of age, I opened my own family daycare business.
Yeah.
And I ran that for nearly
was it
7
like
years.
An actual business, or was it like free one?
No, it was actual business.
Oh, that's solid. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I worked. I was able to raise my children whilst working at home, making an income for myself. It was really good. I worked with some children that were high risk or special needs that were referred from the community. That was a learning experience. I got burnt out because our social system sucks. I mean, there's flaws. There's so many flaws, and you kind of experience that when you're in it. I got burnt out of that, and then I left that. I had a little break. I had 6 months off and thought to myself, I've never taken a break in my life from working or studying. I'm going to take 6 months off. Took 6 months off. Oh my gosh. I started ordering packages, online shopping. I just went off the rails. I got so bored, didn't know what I was doing. I was running amok. I was being mischievous. I was out traveling. Time off for me is not a good thing. I need to be doing something, and I needed to be doing something proactive to stay on track.
Yeah.
And then
back in the oasis.
Yeah. I have
You know
to.
what's
And then I went
it's
into my
proactive,
first
isn't it?
factory job after that. The 6 months off, I went into my first factory job. It was
What were you
Daryl
doing?
Lee making chocolates and lollies at
Was it
Daryl
good
Lee.
for you?
No, I was eating the chocolates and lollies, and it wasn't the best for me. But the reason I went into that is I wanted a job where I didn't have to apply mental thinking at the time. I was like, oh, I'm mentally strained with everything I went through running the family daycare. I want a job where I could just go clock in and clock out and I'm done for the day.
Hey, what was the
Um,
biggest takeaway from the whole daycare thing for you?
What
Like
the biggest
personally,
takeaway?
yeah, from running your own daycare for 7 years.
It's rewarding. I was with children from when they were baby all the way till they went to primary school, and watching their growth from a baby to going into primary school and having contributed to their learning and everything. It was the best experience. It was so rewarding. The only thing that I don't like in family daycare, the amount of paperwork, documentation that you have to supply to meet the Department of Education's needs. And
You think
and
but do you think it's necessary, or you think a lot of it's not necessary? Like you think it's
I
a bit
think some
overboard?
of it's necessary, but
Yeah.
not like bombarding it, because it takes away that quality engagement with the children. Like when you're meant to engage with the children and ensure that they're learning, but in the back of your mind, you got to tick all these checklists to ensure that you're
Oh, I
doing.
see.
You know what
Can you
I'm
give an
saying?
example of some that you think are just stupid?
I don't know. I'm probably gonna get like some backlash.
Ah, who cares? Just say it. This is your podcast. They can
I
backlash
know,
while they.
but what's it called? With children, it's always sensitive. But with the Department of Education and the early childhood learning, what I think is kind of a bit stupid now is like you're not supposed to add negatives to like when you're talking to them. Like say they're walking or like they're running in the house and they're not supposed to run in the house. Instead of saying don't run in the house, you've got to come up with another way to make it positive and say,
What?
oh, yeah. You've got to say to them, oh, let's not run in the house today. Let's try walking. How about we try walking today? And then like you've got to go through that, and it's
That
like,
doesn't even sound like I want to listen to that.
yeah, I know, but like the curriculums and stuff have changed big time, like throughout the years, and
Wow.
how I feel like it's a more soft approach now, and
Yeah, I get it.
I'm kind of not someone that likes the extremely hard approach, but I don't like the extremely like the soft approach. I'm kind of in between.
Okay.
Like, don't run in the house is fine to me. I don't, you know, saying that,
don't run in the house. Don't
run
in the house. Bro, you know what's crazy though? Like, I just think like I have a lot of these conversations with different people from all walks of life, and like I'm open to believe whatever you want to believe. You know what I mean? Like like whoever you want to like, kiss whoever you want to kiss, as long as you're consenting and you're both adults, whatever. God, you know what I mean? Like whatever flavor you are. But bro, this world, like, there's a lot of like that kind of thing that like, especially when it comes to our children, that I think like are very, very, I don't know, sort of scares me in a way. Like wow, like our kids are learning that way, or they're like, you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying? Or
yeah. Like they're having the more soft approach in learning. Yeah. That's what I found challenging, because I had to take away my upbringing and everything like that. And you've got to, when you jump into being an educator, you've got to take the way of your life and learnings and apply what they deem fit as, their curriculums and stuff like that. You got to apply that in how you teach the children in your care. So that was tough. I did get burnt out because I ended up fostering one of the children that I cared for. Her mum would relapse on drugs a lot.
Okay.
And so I put my hands up, like, it was like a movie scene. I was running my daycare one day, and I had the welfare come by. The mum had a mandatory report on her, so the social welfare had to intervene and come and pick her up from my service based on that mandatory report the mother had received. And so yeah, they came and they took her for that day, and then they told me that she'd have to be placed into temporary care. That broke my heart because it's like this girl's gonna go, like she was only 2.5 years old. She's gonna go into a home that she's unfamiliar with, an environment she doesn't know, around somebody she's never met. And I'm like, that's gonna be big on her. Like I asked them that day that they came to take her, can I put my hand up and foster her, because at least I've had I've had that engagement with her. She knows my home, she knows who I am, she's comfortable, like and they said to us, well, we'll definitely go through that process with you, but for now we have to take her and go put her into a temporary carers arrangement. And so that's what they did. They took her and they did that. And then I went through the whole processes of becoming a foster carer. I got deemed eligible. They did all the checks. And then I ended up having her in my care for less than a month. I changed the room around, did everything, got her a wardrobe and everything, but the mum had Indigenous background in her. Got her back. She got her back straight away. And then that's where my burnt out in that industry happened.
Okay, that makes
kind of like
you put in like fucking everything to.
Yeah, like you go through all of that and you sit in all these meetings because the mum had all these caseworkers and mental health caseworkers for the children. Like she had all of those, and I'd have to go in as the early childhood educator for the child to go in and sit into these meetings as well and be a part of all of that. And on how we can make this family home better for the child. And then to see all that and then have to go through all that just to have it taken away, it's tough. It's tough on the people that put out their homes and their hands to take on foster children. You don't have those rights. They're just a child of the system, so they control the narrative or the future of those children. And
in an instant.
They put them there, then they plug them back, and
that
it's
must
like
be like was it sort of heartbreaking in a little bit, like
it broke my heart because you build an attachment with that child and like their life. And I've had her from young, so I had her from baby, and just to go through all of that, it was heartbreaking. And then that's when you see the flaws in the system. It's like this mom has been relapsing. She's got an older son, and everything he's gone through for the 15 years of his life, she was repeating with her. So I'm like, are you going to break the cycle or just allow this to continue happening? And when the child was returned back to the mum, I'm like, it's still in the same state of condition that you've removed her from in the first place. How do you deem this safe? I don't understand. And it got hard for me because I did the pickups and drop-offs in the morning and after school, and I'm that educator that had to go and pick the child up in that environment, take her to my care, and then after the end of the day go and return her back. It's like I'm returning her back into an environment where something could potentially happen to this child. And then it's like, oh, so you're not going to do anything about it until you see him on the news or something when it gets worse. And then it's all of a sudden you've had all these opportunities to step in and break the cycle and do better for this child's life. But yeah, it's just, it's it was a burnout. It's
can understand. But like you said, very rewarding process to the whole experience at the same time. As
rewarding process. Best experience is seeing children smile and like their growth. That is probably the most rewarding thing from the job. You sleep at night knowing that you've had an impact in a child's life. I've had children come back to me now that they're older and give me feedback, and that is like they remember that, like they've taken something from what they've learned from me. I see them in the street because I used to have this big Toyota Hiace. So I would be an educator that they'll see around in the community, and you'd see the children today, they run up and they still remember who I am, and just seeing those sorts of things is like what's rewarding out of it, like where they are now. And yeah, I love that.
I feel like you were made for that kind of mahi, or not the Tongan mahi, the Maori mahi, that kind of work. But I feel like you were made for that. You know what I mean? Like just listening to you speak on all of that, like made to work with children, and even even to be a mother and all of that kind of stuff,
It
like
takes a level of patience, I'll tell you.
yeah. But the way your countenance lights up when you speak about that experience or those experience or these children and the work that you do in the stuff and your why. I think keep doing it. So it's like this is you probably put on this earth to do a bit of that, I reckon. And yeah, good on you. The world needs more people like you that are passionate.
I'm not even in that industry at this moment.
No, but I mean the fact that you have that passion. No, I mean like
Oh
just
yeah.
working with children because we haven't really touched on it, but that's sort of a part of that journey is what you're going to get into with your studies, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I took a break from it because of that burnout. And then I steered into the factory, stayed there for an hour. Then I went in and learnt rails, like railway. I did all my quals and tickets in getting like becoming a protection officer, which is like a safe working officer for the rail.
Yeah.
And whole new world for me. Coming from a community-based background, going into construction rail, that was a learning curve. But see, I'm always open to challenges. I feel like people should take their fear out of learning something and just going out there and giving it a go. Because, success comes from failure. You got to fail at some point or in your life to actually grow and get ahead.
100%.
If you make mistakes, you learn from them. Like I'm the type of person from young, I'm that curious person that always wants to learn and make mistakes on my own. I don't want my parents to tell me like that's wrong. I want to go out there and experience it for myself and then be like, oh yeah, they were right. That was wrong. But at least I went through the experience and then learn from it. But yeah, railways, I don't know, it's helping people. You're out there to put in safe working arrangements so that you save the workers' lives so they don't get struck by rail traffic and stuff.
Yep.
But it's a different kind of help. Like I don't get that reward that I do from like young people or children or like that sort of field of community based.
Yeah.
The workers come out, they do their job, they go home, and at the end of the day, you're just a number. You're a statistic to come and fill a spot in the railway. And once your job's done for the day, you head on home, and that's that. You don't take away the reward from it like I would a community-based job. So I do want to go back to that.
Yeah. Can you speak on that at all? What you want to do or what your plans are for that, for this, like what you're studying in that?
Yes, so I'm currently doing my bachelor's in social work and criminal justice, and I want to eventually work in mediation or like work in early intervention for children that come from separated families.
Okay.
I feel like it's a big
being
thing.
one yourself. Hey.
Yeah, I'm a child of a separated family. I've walked that life being the child. And I've also got a blended family myself with children-wise. So I can hear children's voices on what it's like to go between homes. Okay. So I'm filled with that to make a difference in that area. I feel like it's such a common issue now. Like there's so much divorces, separations, and then the children are caught in the crossfire of whatever their parents have gone through in their life. And yeah, if you can kind of help shape that and then work with the parents that are separated, then that can better the children in the process and they can come out of it on top rather than ending up somewhere else in life. But yeah, that's where I'm planning to go with that. Who knows? I'm always open to opportunities or whatever doors open for me.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's what I more meant like with that statement before. I feel like you're built for that stuff. Just like, you know what I mean? It's in you. You know what I mean? Like you said, you don't feel rewarding. You don't feel rewarded doing the job that you do. Obviously, grateful for the opportunity and the work that you do at the moment. But I think that community-based stuff is what you're built for. Like, look at how you light up when you talk about it, and I can't wait to see you crack it. And I'm sure you'll be one of the best mediators that the world has ever seen.
No, I don't know about the best. I swear, there's always room for improvement. There's always something to learn.
Yeah, of course. You know.
Yeah.
Wait, gotta shoot for the top. Otherwise, what are we shooting for? No. Yeah, you know. got a goal to have the biggest podcast in the world. I got the tiniest at the moment, but one day.
Hey,
Okay.
one day, all it takes is that one moment to pop off, and then boom, shove.
And just that consistency too. That's why I think we're and just that consistent. I made a promise to myself a year ago, and after I actually got top 1, I was going to kill myself, and that's what actually led to creating this whole thing. And
Oh, okay.
I was going to hang myself.
Wow.
I was, not because of TikTok, just because of life shit that I had to push to the side, all this kind of stuff. I've spoke about it openly on here, but
that's a massive one moment. That's a massive moment for you to even come out and say that, as a man, and actually say that you went through that. So kudos to you for actually expressing yourself. Not a lot of people can do that on these sorts of platforms.
Yeah, and then I don't even say it for sympathy. I just say it because I feel like it's just what my experience and it's literally the catalyst for creating this, to be honest. That's not even my first ever attempt. So the crazy thing is I attempted it twice before. I played Russian roulette with myself when I was younger, because I grew up, I had a crazy life, man. Molested, a lot of violence, a lot of fucking drug abuse around, like a lot of kids where we come from, and there's a lot of that kind of stuff. And even I think the biggest, outside of all the physical stuff, because physical wounds heal. The mental shit is the shit that fucked me the most. You know what I mean? You're fucking useless, you're this and that, all those kinds of things. I think used to fuck with me, but I used to try and use it as fuel to I'll prove you wrong, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Whatever it is.
Yes.
And I still do. I'm still that way. I've never in my life ever cared about what people think about me. I still don't to this day, even though I can look back and say sometimes they were right. You know what I mean? They might have been right at that time. Right, reflecting, but I still don't to this day. So I think that being that way inclined, it makes me, I guess, built for this kind of stuff. Because you got to have tough skin if you want to try and crack it. One, if you want to be successful in life, you got to have tough skin, because people are going to come for you regardless. But especially in a social space, in the social media space, and then if you have lofty goals like fucking I do, you got to be prepared. I get fucking, even just on the small scale we're at now. Fuck, every day, everyone had podcasts. You say the same thing over and over, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. You know what I mean? That shit washes over me. But I think I had a car crash about 10 years ago, and I couldn't walk for ages. I thought I was going to be paralyzed. I still can't feel at the bottom of my left foot because of it. But I'm fine now. I'm all good. But I thought that was going to be because I go from being a machine to just being fuck, what is this? If I can't even wipe my own ass, sort of thing at the time. And I'm thinking, fuck, this is going to be me for. And then on top of that, I'm smashing painkillers. You know what I mean? And that shit just makes you numb, so you're not even feeling really anyway. And then you're not even there. And then I decided to play Russian roulette with myself. I actually visited the bridge that I did that on. It's about 3 hours away from me on the weekend. It was not I didn't sit there feel I just went across it for the first time in a long time. The same bridge that I was sitting on doing that. And then I also tried to, in that same period, try to hang myself on a metal gable, which looking back, it shouldn't have snapped. It snapped, but obviously it wasn't my time, right? And then fast forward 8 years later to last year, this is 3 days after I got top 1 on all the ranks and all that. After, because we got Dream Factory, Rising Stars, and weeklies 1 week after another top 1. And I had got banned so many times before that, so it was sort of cool to that we could finally do it, just to be we did just to get, I don't know, because people will be it's just a fake number, what are you chasing? But if you're in it, you think it's cool, you know what I mean? So I think that and then I don't know, I just decided I went outside, and it was midnight-ish, and 3 days after I got to 1, and I just decided I was going to do it, and my baby woke up crying, teething, and him waking up. I thought to myself, fuck, I can't let him cry. I got to go sort him out, and then I'll put him back to sleep, and then I'll come finish the job. But then when I did that, when I'm consoling him, he's crying, but the tears are just pouring down my face, and I was like, bro, what's wrong? What am I doing? You know what I mean? And I sort of realized then that I wasn't sort of in my purpose, that the way you light up when you talk about these children and how rewarding it is. That's how I feel when I do this. Now I've done what I can say to you. I've recorded 270, but I think we released 222 so far in 5 months. But it doesn't feel like work, sis. and that's what I want to see. Like for you, just keep like obviously, you know, you're grateful to have the job you have now, but I want to see you crack it in that industry that you really love and you're passionate about, and I think you're built for. But yeah, that's anyway.
Oh, I love your testimony, and I'm glad that your son cried that night, because you're here today and you're doing marvelous things, and you're out here spreading light and love and awareness for people that probably going through the same thing in life or similar experiences. Yeah, but big ups for that, sharing that. Yeah, that's tough.
Sorry. Okay, I'm not trying to somber your thing, but I'm all good. But like, I feel way
No,
happier.
I like it hearing that
like,
stuff.
I feel like I'm living my purpose, and like I'm sort of looking in the mirror every day. I made a promise to myself that after that moment, that obviously you don't get better straight away, even though you don't do it. So you gotta work through that process. But I made a promise to myself that by January this year, so like that was May last year, I'm gonna start a podcast and I'm gonna work towards making it the biggest podcast in the world. I didn't know how I was gonna start. I didn't know who with. I had ideas. I was gonna do multiple different ones. Even when I started this, I started with 2 other brothers. They went on to do their own things and had to, you know, life got in the way, whatever. But sweet as, but you know, that didn't stop. I was just gonna keep going on the journey, no matter whether I was alone or whatever. So I created it, and then I made a promise to myself to daily deposit every day from then on into something to learn how to do it and how I want to do it. And then since I started, I made a promise to myself every day to do something towards the goal. So yeah, and I got a quote here, so I'll read it to you quickly, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
It's
go ahead.
It's what lives on my screen every day. It says, discipline means telling yourself every day that you have to give up instant gratification in order to achieve bigger rewards later on. And like, that's simple when, you know, quotes or whatever, but like that really resonates with me, because I think we live in a microwave age where people consumed by the quick fix, and you know what I mean, get straight away. But yeah, like I just created a plan and I'm actioning it daily, and you know, who knows where we get to.
It's like the Atomic Habits book, if you've read that.
Yeah.
You take one step at a time.
Yeah, 1 foot in front of the other, right? Like the journey of
1 foot in front of the other. That's
journey of 1,000 steps starts with one. So saying, yeah, nah. Oh, before we get out of here, though, I just want to ask you a couple of quick questions before we leave, if that's all right. But is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you could have one meal for the rest of your life, what do you choose? Like every day you eat this meal.
Every day I would.
Yeah, you can't say your husband. Yeah.
He'd probably love it if I did say it, but no.
Is it no? Yeah.
No, I love Middle Eastern cuisine. Ooh, and my favorite dish is mansaf.
Okay, what's that one?
It's the rice dish. I have it with half lamb, half chicken. It's rice. It's got some nuts in it, and sultana lamb chicken, and then it's also got like the yogurt sauce on the side that you have with it. And yeah, you can eat it with Lebanese bread.
Every day, Asus. That's you. Every day.
Yeah,
baby.
like
what
you know,
are you gonna wash it down with?
What am I gonna wash it down with?
Water, or you like a juice? Like, what do you like?
These nuts, nachos.
Fucking his nuts, but it fucking. Go here, girl.
Nah, I'll wash it down with. I don't know. I gotta survive, man. Water. Go the H2O.
Yeah, the H2O. Alkaline, no.
Yeah, alkaline. Honestly, I've got the alkaline machine.
That's that, That's it. Alkaline, baby. Superpowers besides the ones you already have. What superpower would you choose, or maybe even create, and why?
A superpower. Man, I would like to be invisible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you can go around and do anything. You can run amok. Yeah. You're not seen.
Oh, I see. Oh, so your invisible isn't to hide away from people, like
it's to go run amok.
You run amok invisible. Okay.
You could do anything. Like I would say, like I wouldn't want to read minds or anything like that. The last thing I want to do is hear everyone shit.
Yeah, and then hear them talking shit about you when you don't even.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. Because when you're invisible, you can do so much with it. You can go in and hear people's conversations. You can go anywhere. Like you can get around, see what's up.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool reason, and then a cool reason because I've heard a couple of times I've heard invisibility, but it was your reasoning. A lot of them was like just I just want to hide away from the world, but yeah, it was just
No, I don't
going
want to
on.
hide away from the world. Like when you're invisible, if you
Yeah,
know, like you're not seen, you're not heard, you're like don't
yeah,
exist. You can just freely move wherever you want to go, do whatever you want to do.
yeah. That's a solid one. I like it.
Mm.
Have you got any pieces of advice for anybody that wants to get into, especially the children's space, like the community spaces that you've been in? Have you got any advice, or maybe they want to start up their own daycare?
Yeah, for that, in terms of that, I think you have to be a patient person. You have to be a person that is genuine in what you want to bring to the table because it's not an easy industry. You got to love children. I feel like some people do, like if you want to open a family daycare, you got to make sure you love children because don't be in it just for the money. I've been around lots of educators that are in it just for the money, and
Mm.
it's sad for the children that you're taking on board because they're not reaping the best out of what you can give them. So make sure you're in it for the children and not the money. And yeah, just I think family daycare is a good way to go. If you're a young person, you've got the energy for it. Um, Even if you do fall pregnant or you have a child or something, you still have that luxury of raising your own child whilst raising other children and earning an income for yourself. My children got a lot out of me being an educator and running it from home because they got to do all the programs that the kids I set out for the kids. They got to engage in it as well. So then you're also bonding with your children at the same time. It's a good industry in that sense. I don't like childcare centres. I'm not a big fan of childcare centres.
Like
I've always had,
glorified babysitting, eh?
yeah, no, I don't know. I
Yeah.
just feel like it's not as engaged. Like I've had my children in the council family daycares, like growing up. I put my children in those rather than childcare centres because yeah, it's less ratio.
What council? So what do you mean?
Like I
What's it?
tapped into the council. The council offer like family daycare services.
Oh, like city
You
council.
go,
Yeah, I get you.
yeah, like you go through your local councils, and they offer family daycare educators within your area. They have a site for it. You look up your area, then you'll be able to access all the educators around. Obviously, go suss out their homes and who they are as an educator. And if you feel it's fit for your children to go there, I think it's better because they get more intimate care. It's a home environment. It's like they're being at home. Childcare centre, I kid you not, I feel like it's just so packed. They don't get, I don't know, I'm just not a big fan.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I think it's even schools are hard. Like one teacher for 30 students, that's crazy. Like even if you're
yeah,
the
like
most,
that. You know
even
what
if
I
you're
mean?
the
It's
best
not.
educator, it's
Mm,
impossible to touch those kids in the way. Well, fuck, that sounds weird, but you know what I mean. Like impact them in the way you need to. Like you know what I mean.
yeah, like one teacher to 30 students is it's a lot for the teacher, and that's why teachers get burnt out a lot. I mean, they're not easy looking after kids, but yeah, that's probably my number one advice. Just be passionate and have a love for children. Otherwise, it'll be the wrong industry for you.
Yeah. If it ain't about the money, yeah, I gotta.
Yeah, some of
You
them
know.
rush in for the money and then they come crumbling down pretty fast. So
Yeah, well, if that's what drives you, you're never going to be happy anyway. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
'cause you're never going to make enough. You know what I mean? You make more than you spend more. You make more if that's your like number one driver in life. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I know, fuck, I've made lots of money in many ways over the years, and I like, but yeah, like that literally, it can obviously relieve a few stresses, but it can't bring you happiness if that's all you're driven for. You gotta fucking find some other passion, I believe, or something else.
Money helps create a more happy environment because you're able to, you got more flexibility in what you can and can't do. But when you have if you don't have a passion there for something,
Yeah.
you're gonna be miserable. You're gonna come home and like you just don't sleep as good at night as if it's something you're passionate about. I
Yeah.
feel anyway.
Yeah,
In my
definitely. Like,
opinion.
yeah, don't get me wrong. Like you said, money is as good as a tool. You can use it to do many things, and it can
Yeah.
relieve a lot of pressures. But fuck,
Mhm.
I've been around a lot of really, really wealthy people, like billionaires even, and they ain't happy. Not saying they all aren't, but you know what I mean? Like, so if you're using money as the tool to be the solver to all of your problems, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say it'd be the wisest decision, but who the fuck,
Yeah,
what the fuck do I know?
100%.
I'm just a hoary Māori talking on podcast, cuz. So, you know, visualization, sis, 10 years from now, what do you hope life to be like for Kast and the fam? Kast fam, and what do you hope life to be like?
I don't do the whole let's talk in the future. I'm someone that
let's go then.
Yeah, I'm kind of a person that take each day as it comes. Life is too short. We never know if tomorrow's even going to come, let alone 10 years from now. So I'm just somebody that I take each day as it comes. I think about what's going to happen the next day for me, and I don't look too far into the future, because in any given day, your whole entire world could change. Your whole entire whatever you're driving towards could just ultimately do a 360 flip in less than an hour of that day, depending on what happens in that day.
We could die walking outside. So,
yeah, that's it. That's what I'm saying. Something could happen, or something could like just go wrong in that day, or even go better. Like you might be, you know, a different opportunity might come up. So I just take each day as it comes. I'm thankful for every day that I get. I wake up and I'm just grateful. I am a believer of God, so I just praise God that I get another day. And then whatever obstacles come in that day, I face it then and there, and then I work for the next day. Like
shout out to the bro God then, and shout out to Kast for shutting me down. No, but that was a dope answer.
I don't know where I see myself in 10 years.
Yeah. That's a better answer. No. I like it. And like, not only that, you say I don't really go, like, I don't really, you know, do too much too far down the line, but the fact that you also just gave a dope reason why, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I feel like you got to be present in the now.
Yeah, well,
some people get stuck or fascinated with what's happening in 10 years time. And then their life right now is just not going where they need it to be because their focus is somewhere else. Like if you focus on the present and now and unfog your brain with all the rest of the stuff that's going on, then you'll be able to, you know, be determined to finish whatever you need to finish in your day, your tasks ahead, and complete it. Yeah.
I like it too. But you know, just day by day, and whatever comes.
Day by day, one's put in front of the other.
Hard.
Oh, yeah.
I'm with that for sure. Like in a lot of ways, but also like I have a long goal, but that long goal is nothing if I don't enjoy the journey there. So you know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I just want to say, so it's been a pleasure. I just want to thank you. You know, time's the most valuable commodity we have as human beings. The one thing we can never get back. We can always get back money. We can always get back things, but time spent is time lost. So thank you for sharing an hour and a half and waiting for my ass of your time on the podcast with me and anybody that listens to this for years to come. I hope people take value from it as I have today. And, you know, I hope it's not the last time we sit down, just not only on here, but even maybe on TikTok and even in the flesh, maybe catch up with you, hubby, and the Cayutos and have some of that Middle Eastern food that you said. That's pretty good.
I know. It's been a pleasure to actually be on here and be involved in this experience with you. I'm so proud of the journey that you're on and where you're going to go with this journey. I'm looking forward to it and looking forward to seeing you grow and blossom in all that you're trying to do and achieve. But yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been a great time. Definitely not time wasted today. So thank you so much.
Big loves. I appreciate that. And I can't wait to see you do whatever you do by doing your days every day, but I feel like it's going to be in that community-based space in the future. You know, I feel like that's a big passion of yours.
That's exactly where I'm headed. I am so.
Thank you so much for watching this full episode of Mind the Mic. It takes a lot of time, energy, and effort to create these episodes. So to know that you've watched and listened to the entire thing means the world to myself and all our hosts. If you could, before you leave, please hit the subscribe button and share this episode out to as many people as possible. It would help us so much. Thank you again to everybody that's still here, still watching. Thank you for all your comments, all your shares, all the DMs. Appreciate you all. Make sure you follow us on every platform. Have an awesome morning. Have an awesome night, depending on where you are in the world. Mind the mic out.
Oi, have you hit the link in bio yet?
Watch full episodes on YouTube or listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all streaming platforms.